this is going to be a lot of fun. Sit back, enjoy as I light up your holiday season with my favorite lights, Invisalights. So let's get started. Invisalights are really, really cool. So these are little tiny LED lights that are on a thin wire typically, and I'm going to show you. I've got a lot to demonstrate today. What's really cool about them is that most of the times the wire hides away into greenery. I'm going to show you how that looks. Also, you can use them in so many different applications. There's just so many uses for these things. I absolutely love them. You can use them inside. You can use them outside. Wreaths, garlands, mantles, trees, plants, lanterns. I mean, the list goes on and on. There's so many possibilities. And they're absolutely cool. What's really cool about them too is with a traditional LED diode, you can sometimes miss the light. If the wire gets turned and the light's facing backwards to you, you can't see it. What's cool about this, and you'll see this as I demonstrate it, you always see the light. It's almost a 360-degree light that you can see, so it always shows up. It's super, super easy to work with, and they're just so much fun, and they just brighten up the holiday season. So really excited to show you this. This is my favorite light to use around the home, and we've got lots of other lights. So we've got a ton of different lights. I'm going to explain some of those as I go along. I'm not going to demonstrate those today. We've got another portion of this webinar series coming up about lighting up your outdoor spaces, and that's where I'll get into some of those lights, which get into longer strands and different things and lots of fun stuff there as well. But these are really, really cool, these Invisalights. So I use the term Invisalights. That's something, we've been carrying these lights for probably maybe 15 years now. They are very, very cool. And Invisalights were the first name that were kind of brought to us, and so that's kind of the name we've kept on carrying on. A lot of people call them micro LED lights or fairy lights. So if you see them, or if you're asking for fairy lights, micro LED lights, Invisalights, we'll know that what you're asking for. But you might see them listed different things in different places. You know, so if you're in different parts of the country and you're trying to find these, a lot of people do carry them nowadays. I think we probably have one of the coolest collections. I mean, I've got a lot of unique ones here. So I got the basics. So let's go through some of those basics real quick. I've got a lot of these come in battery and plug-in. So I try and keep a consistent inventory of 20 count and 60 count, and those are both going to be battery operated. 20 count, 60 count, and they come in a green wire, a silver wire, and a copper wire. And these are just normal string lights, but they're the micro LED lights, so they're not quite normal. But the 20 count and 60 count are battery operated, and then they're great. And so you can use the copper and the silver to match kind of a decor, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Maybe if you're doing a flocked wreath, or maybe you want the wire to show off. It's a great way to do it. Copper looks great in magnolia. I'm going to demonstrate that. Green is awesome because it hides away into greenery, so you don't have to worry about wrapping wire, you know, trying to hide the wiring, because it just disappears in green. I'm going to show you how that works as well. So we carry those 20 count and 60 count in those three wire colors. Then we also carry them in 100 count plug-in. So I've got some of those that I'm going to demonstrate as well. So if you've got the ability to plug it in, great. If you don't have a plug, we've got you covered as well. So they're really, really cool, and you can use those for all those different options. And then I've got a unique collection of a lot of different things, and I'm going to show you a bunch of that. So let's kind of start with one of my favorites. This is, you're gonna hear me say waterfall or cluster lights. And so this is, I hope we can see this. It's nice and cloudy outside, so I don't have a lot of bright light coming in here. But this is a cluster or waterfall effect of lights. And what this is a battery operated set. It comes on a silver wire. You don't typically see these in green wire that much anymore, or copper, but they're usually in silver. Silver is one of the most popular colors. It just shows up, it just glimmers, it kind of looks sparkly, and it's a lot of fun. But you can see all of these strands. So let's see, let's see if I can get a count on this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 strands. So I've got 8 strands. Comes in this little box right here. It is 40 LED lights on 8 strands. So that's about, that looks like more than that. So that would be, what, 5 lights per strand? So it's probably got more light than that, I would think. Maybe I'm reading that wrong. But they're all 1.2 feet long. It's very, very easy to use, and I just love them because they can work into so many different applications. And so the first one I'm going to do is this lantern. You know, lanterns are very, very popular. I love lanterns. I've taken this little artificial, this little lifelike pick. You could put fresh greenery in there. You could fill it with pine cones. You could do so many different things in a lantern or a glass bowl. So I mean, think outside the box and think about all the different applications you can use for these. They're so easy. But I just found this nice little kind of lifelike pick. It's got a little pine cone, a little blue incense cedar, a little bit of pine. And I'm just going to stick that in there just for some filler. You don't even have to do that. You could just do the lights. And then what I love about these is they just kind of dance around and do their own thing. They're really, really easy to use. So I'm just going to take those and just kind of drop them in. I mean, really, I'm not going to kind of think about it too much. I'm just going to kind of sprinkle it in there, let it kind of do its thing. And then I can hide, the reason I put that greenery in there so I can hide the battery pack. You could attach the battery pack to the lid. You know, every lantern is kind of different that you might use out there. But then we can close this and we can just see this awesome effect that it has. Once I get it closed, I'll hold it up. And there we go. So look at that. I've got this great lantern. It is awesome looking with just a little piece of greenery in there and these magical Invisalights. They're so, so cool. And so that's just one application for these lights. They can be used so many different places. But that's a really cool way of doing it. And again, you can do it in a bowl, a glass bowl with ornaments. You know, if you've got just, you know, a shell planter, maybe you've got a coastal theme, you've got something that you want to drop some lights into, this is great. And the fact that it's on a battery operated means you can use it anywhere. And I just love this cluster of lights. Really, really cool. So let's see. It's also got a built-in timer. So you can just put it on the timer. It runs for 6 hours and turns off for 18. So it's super, super simple to use. Just set it and forget it. And that way you can put that lantern, we can hang that lantern. It'll come on every single day. So if I set it for like 4 o'clock, let's say, it'll come on from 4 to 10 o'clock and then turn off, and every day it'll come back on. If you put these lights on these timer settings, so if it comes with a timer setting, then when you put it on the timer, it'll last for about 30 days. Which is good. Now, if you're going to turn it on and let it run, it's only going to last for maybe 2 or 3 days. I mean, it's just going to run straight through that battery power pretty quick. But on the timer, it's going to last a fair amount of time. You know, so for 20, 30 days, that's pretty good. I also carry another light that I'll show you in another series, in another webinar series. That is called DuraWise battery operated. They're really cool. They last for 60 days on batteries, and they come in a very, very long string. So if you're looking to cover something like a mailbox or a banister outside, you know, a railing, you know, you're doing something outside and you don't have access to power, those are great waterproof battery operated lights, DuraWise battery operated. They're really, really cool. I'm going to show you those in a future webinar. Today we're just talking about micro LED lights. Let me pause here for just 1 second and tell you, just so you know, there are a couple different battery packs that they come with. And so the reason I want to point this out is some of them are going to say indoor, outdoor. All of your packages are going to say it. So this one right here says indoor only. So that means you only want to use this inside because the battery pack is this kind of plastic pack. And so you can see it's just super, you know, simple plastic pack. It just has a top that slides off. There's no kind of weatherproofing to it. So now you could make this a little bit more weatherproof. You could probably take some electrical tape and wrap it around. If you're using it on a covered porch, you're going to be perfectly fine. A lot of florists are using these nowadays because you can actually drop it into a vase of water. As long as your battery pack is not in the water, obviously, and you just drop it in there, you can put these in water. These are submersible, so they're really cool, in like a fountain or something like that. Really cool. But we do make the battery operated with a battery pack that can be used outside. I'll show you that in a second when I get to those. So typically your 20 to 40 count light sets in your micro LED Invisalights are going to be indoor only. And then when you get to the 50 to 60 count battery operated, those are going to be outdoor. But always check your package. It's a very good idea to kind of look at your package and see if it says indoor, outdoor, or just indoor. But you can also typically tell by that battery pack. So if it's just that clear plastic battery pack, probably best to keep it in a covered space. Some people will take it and put it in a Tupperware and seal it off. You can put it in a plastic Ziploc bag. You know, you got a lot of different options there to kind of keep some of the moisture out if you want to try it. We're not talking about, they're not super expensive, so that's also really nice. They're not gonna, you know, really cost you a ton. But I also want to show you what I love to do with this cluster light. This is really, really cool. So when we get poinsettias in, they look awesome in poinsettias, but I don't have them quite yet. Still about a week away, I think, from getting poinsettias. But I got this aglaonemia, you know, a very traditional indoor plant that a lot of us have. and it kind of, might just look green and kind of maybe boring for the holidays, and we want to dress it up. We could put a bow in there, we could put a little Christmas pick in there with a, a little angel or a little cardinal or something for the holidays, but lights brighten up everything. And so what I love about this with poinsettias or any indoor plant is what you do is you're just going to take all of these strands come from one point. So it's really, really easy to work with. So I'm just going to make sure I get these kind of separated a little bit. I will stop here and also tell you, these lights tangle. So bear with me if I get into a little tangle situation. When I do my outdoor lighting, which also will be some indoor applications as well, then I'll show you these lights that don't tangle. They are absolutely awesome. But pretty much every other light set can tangle, and these guys especially can, because it's that thin wire. They can get kind of wrapped around itself, but I love the fact that they can just kind of dance out there and look so cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the battery pack, I'm going to put it kind of on the back side, but then I'm going to take that main group, that cluster, and just work it right into the middle of this plant here. Try and keep these lights out of my way, and just try and get that right down into the center and kind of tucked away. In fact, I might even take it and just kind of lightly wrap it around a little small branch there. Then what I can do is I can take all of these strands and just pull them apart and just let them kind of go all over the place. You can have them kind of go and swirl around on the top. You can wrap them if you want to. So this works great if you're doing like, a little Norfolk Island pine, a ficus. If you've got a bunch of branches that you want to highlight, then these work great on branching because you can just have that one starting point and then you've got a lot of strands to wind up the different branches. So really, really easy way of doing that as well. These are so cool. I love these. And they look awesome in a red, white, all those different poinsettias that we're going to get. They just really brighten up a poinsettia, and they're a lot of fun to work with. So there we go. Just by kind of spreading them out, I'm not even really going to think about it too much. I'm just going to kind of let it do its thing. And then we can kind of wrap these little tails around. And there we go. I've got this great indoor plant that now I've turned into a nice little awesome kind of Christmas look with these lights. Really, really cool. Super, super simple. Love these lights. So that's a great application for that. I'm going to put some of this stuff to the side. I'll pull it all back out at the end so we can kind of show you, because I'm going to start working on some maybe different bigger pieces here. All right, so while I'm on that one, let me show you this. So wine bottle, you could take this wine bottle and spray it and frost it. You can do lots of different things. Maybe the wine bottle means something to you. Maybe it's from an anniversary. Maybe it was your favorite bottle of wine. Maybe it's just a really pretty bottle that you like. You can take and wash the label off. You can leave the label on, whatever you want. But what I love to do with these lights is give them as a gift. So this is our wine bottle stopper. It comes with the Invisalights attached to it. So it's just this little wine bottle stopper. It's really nice. It's silver. And it just has, let's see, I think it's got 10 lights on it. 15. So it's got 15 LED lights, but it comes built in. It only takes one AA battery. Really, really easy. You just push the button on the top and it lights up. And so you can drop this into a wine bottle. It's really, really cool looking. So if you've got one of those kind of wine bottles that, like I said, means something to you, or you're just using them to decorate your home, maybe you have a wine bar, maybe you've got, a bar that you just want to put a wine bottle on, but these lights fit perfectly in there. You get this really nice wine stopper, this metal stopper that just drops right in, and then you can click it on and off. Super, super simple, really, really cool light. What I love to do with this is if I'm giving wine as a gift, I'll attach this to the gift, so that way when they're done with the bottle, they have a little something to add to it for the holiday season. So this makes a great gift. Pair it with a bottle of wine. Use it for yourself around the home. They are awesome. Awesome, awesome light. So that's a really cool one. I love that little wine bottle stopper. All right, moving on, because I got a lot to show you. So I'm going to try and kind of roll through this stuff fairly quickly. All right, so let's talk about the basic green light here. So this is my 60 count. And like I said, they do get tangled, so I'm hoping that this one I tried to work through first. So this is my basic green 60 count LED Invisalight on green wire, just warm white on green wire. Probably my #1 seller for sure. It is a indoor-outdoor battery pack, so you can use it for your indoor or outdoor purposes. But it's really, really cool. So let me get this unwound so I've got it in front of me that I can work with. And so you're probably like, what is he even working with? I can't even see anything. But there's this little thin wire, and then once I turn it on, you'll see it. So this is that battery pack I was talking about. So this is a solid plastic. It actually has these clips you open up, and then when you open it up, you're actually going to see a rubber seal around the outside of it. So when you close this and you clip it nice and tight, you know that battery pack is protected, and these can be used outside. And then there you go. You just push the button and the lights come on. So on this battery pack, it's got push it once and it's got a little clock, which means it's on the timer. You can push it again, nothing happens, but that means it's just going to stay on constant. And then you push it one more time and it's off. So we push it one time and it's on a timer. So what we can do here is I'm going to show you how you can use this in greenery. I mean, you can barely see the wire probably on your screen right now, but when you put this in a tree or a garland, it just disappears and it's so easy to do. So I just got this small little green tree here. I'm not going to do this one completely. If I were going to do this completely, I'd probably take some time on it and really kind of, maybe not wrap it in necessarily, but I would probably spend some time really kind of working it on a little bit. You know, not a ton of time, maybe 10 minutes, but I just want to kind of show you how that light just disappears in this tree. I'm going to try and not get it tangled. All right. So there we go. So I'm just going to kind of put these on and look at that. I mean, I'm not really doing anything. I'm just kind of putting them up to the tree so you can kind of see how that kind of just disappears in there. And that is, again, not how I would do it, but I just want to show you how that light just dances in there. It's so simple, so easy. So you can take a little tabletop tree. Maybe it's a kid's tree for a kid's room. Lots and lots of different possibilities here, but this just disappears. And then again, you've got that little battery pack that can just go away. Now these come in 100 count as well on a green wire, so you can do a slightly bigger tree. I've got some other ones I'm going to show you too that you can use for bigger applications with a plug. So maybe you have like a 4-foot little tree that you want to put the micro LED lights on, and you've got the ability to plug it in. Then you might want to use the 100 count plug-in, just green with warm white lights. Really cool option. And they also come with multi as well. I'm going to show you some multi. So they also come green wire with multi. So if you're doing a kid's tree, be a great application. All right. Here's just a really pretty lifelike wreath that I grabbed. It doesn't come with lights. It's got some pine cones. It's got some of that incense cedar. So it's got the pine. It looks really, really nice. Got it nicely shaped up. And so now it's like I want to put lights on it. Well, man, sometimes that can be like, oh, do I really want to do that? Do I really want to spend all that time doing that? But this is easy. And most of the time, you're going to put a wreath on a front door or on a wall. And so you're not going to have the ability to have a plug nearby, nor would you want one, really. You don't want a string, running all over your front porch or back inside, or, if you have this just on a wall, you don't want a cord coming down from it. So that's why I love this battery operated one. So I'm going to try and hold this up and do this. I'm going to take the battery pack, I'm going to put it in through the hole so that I've got it on the back side, and then I'm going to show you how you can just wrap that in super, super simple. And then I'm just going to take these lights, and I'm really not going to put a lot of time and effort into trying to hide this cord. I'm just going to let it kind of go all over the place and just let it be super, super simple. That's why I love these, is you don't have to spend a lot of time hiding it because it just disappears by itself. And that's why I love these lights so much. I'm just going to make sure that I kind of get it so where it's kind of sticking in there a little bit. So give me a second as I kind of just work this around. They are so cool. Absolutely love these. I've got them on all my wreaths. Lots of small trees, lots and lots of uses. You could just take some pine cones and wrap them in pine cones. I've got a couple planters out front on my front porch that I usually take and put a bunch of pine cones in, just to kind of fill some of the void. I've got some ferns and some different things that kind of get a little bit lighter looking in the winter season. So I'll fill them up with some pine cones and then just drop some Invisalights in there. Maybe the copper ones are really cool with pine cones and magnolia. I'm going to do a webinar on how to make like these planters with stuffed greens. Love Invisalights in those. Really, really cool option. So again, we're just kind of working these around. I'm not being super picky about anything. I'm just kind of tucking it in so that the wire kind of disappears. Not gonna spend a whole ton of time on it. And then there we go. Look at that, it just shines. It's just really, really pretty. So now I'm gonna take it and bring it around the back way and show you how you can just take this easy little battery pack and we can just put it right in here in between the wire frame. And then I'm just gonna take two little pieces of the greenery. So like this is a little piece of pine. I'm gonna try and find another little piece here that's on the opposite side. Let's see if I can pull one out. There we go. So now I've just got these two little pieces of pine here, and I'm just gonna put them and just twist them like a twist tie right around that box. It's not going anywhere. And there we go, done. So easy, and it just looks amazing. I mean, that on a wall or on a front door is so cool. Didn't take me any time. I can go through and kind of touch it up a little bit, make sure I've got my light kind of somewhat evenly spaced, but I just love the fact that it just disappears. It's got that 360-degree view, so you never lose any of the light. Awesome, awesome light. You will love these lights. I just can't tell you how excited I get when I get to work with these because they're so much fun and they're so easy. So we'll put that one off to the side. I'll bring it back up later. All right, so what do I want to do next? I've got a lot to show you. Let's go back to that cluster light, that waterfall light. Really cool, easy application. But I want to show you these other ones. I'm not going to use them necessarily today, but I wanted to kind of show them to you because we do have other sizes of these. So let me show you this guy. Here's just one of them. This is 160 LEDs. No, that doesn't. Yeah, that's right. Okay, sorry. It's 160 LEDs. Let me just read this, make sure I get my facts correct. They're 3.4 feet long, 160 LEDs. Plug that one in. So this is a plug-in. And then look at that. So now I've got twice the length of this one. So if I've got a bigger plant, maybe you've got a big peace lily, or you got one of those big poinsettias or something like that, or even just a greenery like a ficus or something. This works so good. You can take this little piece right here. So it comes with this little kind of attachment where all of the LED lights come out of, if you can see that. So they all come out of there. So you can hang this. You can use it in a branch. If you come here and check out our store, we have them on branches draped. We have them on stars, like shooting stars. But these are so cool. And so I've got, let's see how many I got on this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I've got another 8 strands to work with. So again, on like a ficus tree, like one of those trees that you have inside, you could wrap, one down the trunk and then put this black piece right up in the front, in the middle of the tree, and then you've got a bunch of branches that you can work out through the top of the tree. So a lot of applications for this. You can use them just like this as like kind of like a rope garland. I have one on my mantle that I keep there year round, so I can turn them on. If I've got guests over, I can just turn them on, and just the silver wire by itself, and I've got a bunch of cords, and then I'll just go and put my greenery in there, and then I've got my lights year round up there. They're awesome. You can use these in a big lantern. You can use these in a bowl. So many applications. If you've got a fountain outside, we actually have a big one. I'm going to show you the big one next as I talk about the other application or the other use of these. We have a fountain out in the front of the store here at Independence that is running right now and has these lights in them. So if you go to winterize your fountain, if you're going to take your fountain and say, okay, I'm worried about the freezing temperatures, and so you're going to drain it, you're going to make sure that the water doesn't stay in there, then you can put some lights in it, and it creates this really cool waterfall effect. So let me show you that one, because this one has become really popular. Let me see if I can find it. So it is 640 LED lights. There it is. 640 LED lights. And these are 32 strings, 6.3 feet long. So now we're getting a little bit longer, more light, more to work with. When I plug this in, you're going to be amazed. This is awesome. Wow, look at that. Just that by itself is just cool. I mean, you could just leave it like that and I'd be happy. But here we go again. We've got a ton of cords to work with. I've got 32 strands here to work with, and it's 6.3 feet long. And just look at that light. It is awesome. The nice thing about this is a warm kind of candlelight glow. I can look at them. I don't feel like my eyes are burning out of my head. They are so cool. And so how many different things could you do with this? I mean, I could put this in a tree. I could put it on top of a tree and let the lights drape down. I could use it just as a rope garland and a simple garland. As long as you've got access to a plug and power, then these lights are phenomenal. They are so cool. We've used them all over the store. They're great lights to decorate. You can do a window. You can do some applications outdoors. These are all outdoor lights as well. So I didn't mention that. And I'll show you this real quick. I'm going to unplug it just so I can show you. If your string of lights, your LED string of lights are almost always going to look like this. It's going to have this kind of square transformer plug on it. And then it's got this little screw cap. And that's how it goes in. It's got like a little flat, like little pie shape that you want to kind of make sure you line up correctly. It won't go in any other way. And then when you screw this on, it makes it watertight. So now it's water resistant. I'm not going to say you should sink this in water for sure, but this is the lights that we have outside in our front fountain. So you can take these and use them in a fountain and create that waterfall effect. They're so cool. I mean, the things that you could do with this is just amazing. I mean, you could use it, like I said, in a lifelike tree and a cut tree, just to add like a ribbon of light through the tree would be so cool. These are awesome, awesome lights. I mean, just the possibilities are endless with these. I just absolutely love them. I just think they're cool just by this, just like this. I mean, I think they're awesome. So you could hang them from a chandelier if you've got power. Lots and lots of cool different applications. Maybe you do like a snow scene and you want some lights underneath the snow. This would be great on a small Japanese maple outside or a small tree that you want to feature because you've got 32 strands to work with. So you start with the black piece right at the base and then you just wind up one branch and you end with a bulb. And then you wind up another one, you end with a bulb. So lots and lots of cool ways to use these. Really, really love these lights. They're so cool. All right, let's go on to, let's see, what's another thing that I want to do? Oh yeah, so let me show you the multicolored lights. So I grabbed this one. We've got a couple different options. We've got multi on green, we've got multi on silver. But this one is really pretty. So I got this little Norfolk Island pine. Love these little trees. They've grown for a long time. And I thought, you know, hey, I want to make this kind of fun and festive. And so I grabbed this silver wire. It's 60 LEDs with multicolored lights. Really simple. And I just thought this would be really cool in this tree. So I'm going to show you how you can work these into this tree. Nice and simple. I also grabbed this little rosemary, this outdoor rosemary. You can bring this rosemary in during the holidays for maybe, you know, up to like 10, 12 days just to enjoy the aroma. So great for Thanksgiving, but also into Christmas. You know, just take it back outside. It loves the cool weather. It loves to get, you know, as much sun as you can get on it. Nope, look, see, I almost tangled it up again. And what I will tell you is be patient with these lights. They do get tangled. So that would look really cool in that rosemary just to add some festive color to it. But I'm going to show you how to use it on this Norfolk Island pine. Again, I could really wrap it. Now, the flexible wire allows you to kind of, I mean, it is a wire. So it's not going to electrocute you. You don't have to worry about that. But it actually is bendable and flexible. And so you can actually tie it onto something and really just, you know, it's going to hold there. So I'm just going to take this strand and I'm just going to let it kind of, you know, just kind of play in there. And I'm not going to spend too much time, like I said, kind of wrapping every branch. I don't think I would want to anyways. And then look at that, just so simple. I mean, just in no time at all, I've put lights on this tree and it looks really, really cool. And just, I mean, you can just take a little bit of time just to kind of make sure it's how you want it. But that would be so much fun in a multi kind of look. You know, boho chic is real popular right now. And so lots of those kind of fun colored lights. Also a kid's room. I just love the multicolored lights. They're so much fun to play with. And then on that silver wire, it shows up. So you can actually see the silver wire, which I think is cool on this little Norfolk Island pine. So I want to show off that wire. If I didn't, I'd get the green cord and then it would just disappear and you just see the multi-lights. So really cool application for those battery operated lights, or you could do a plug-in. Maybe you've got a big Norfolk Island pine. So let's jump to that and say, let's say I had a bigger tree and I want to do the whole thing in micro LED lights. So I got this really cool strand in this year. This is awesome. So this is called a big seed. So it's called connectable big seed micro LED light. And so this one is connectable. So I'm going to take this slightly apart. I'm not going to completely unwind the whole thing. But what this has is a bigger diode on it. But again, it's that 360-degree diode, so you never see it go away. But what's cool about this one is It's a little bit of a bigger diode, so it shows up a little bit bigger. So if I'm going to do this on a tree or an outdoor tree or in bushes, completely can be used inside or outside, but you can connect to it. So all I have to do is take this connector at the end and take off the little cap, which again seals it from the weather, and then I can put another set onto it. So I can put, I think it's up to, I think if I read correctly, 6 light sets. So I can do 600 lights on one plug. I mean, that is just awesome. That's what's so cool about LED technology, is it's allowing you to do so many different things with it. But I love these micro LED lights. So this would be great in a topiary. Maybe one of those little dwarf Alberta spruces, or on your tree this year. If you want to do micro LED lights on a tree this year, these are so easy because you won't have to work them in and wrap them on every single branch. You can just take them and just lay them right in there, pop them in and out of the tree. So let's just do this real quick just so we can see kind of what it looks like. And again, I'm not going to spend a lot of time. This has a little bit of a thicker cord on it too, which is kind of nice. It makes it a little bit more durable. So you don't have to like, super be, real fragile with it. We can just kind of work it in. And so on a cut tree or on a lifelike tree, maybe to add some more lights, these would be awesome. So let's look at that. Look at that. Look at that. That's just awesome. So I really like these because you can connect them end to end. Makes it super, super simple. These are lots and lots of fun. And again, you can use it on an indoor plant, a garland across the top of your, on your mantelpiece, on a banister. And then what's really cool is some of these lights, not all of them, but some of them, especially your plugins, have functions. So now we can make it twinkle. And so on the plug, it's got this little tiny button. So I've just got it plugged in over here. And then I can just go through all the different functions. So it's got kind of a twinkle function, goes back and forth, a slow fade on, slow fade off. Whoop, I think I'm messing up your computer screen. So I hope I'm not messing with you. Look at that one. And then just steady on. So there we go. So really cool application. I would love to do a cut tree with these lights. They would be awesome. I hope my mom, I know my mom is watching, and she's saying to herself right now, oh, I'm going to get a cut tree and we're going to put those on there. But this is really cool. This is awesome. I finally convinced my mom to get a lifelike tree, so we don't have to worry about that anymore, hopefully. But this would look great to add some lights, and because you can connect them, you can put as many as you want, up to 600 on one plug. And then you can always add another plug in there. So let's say you want to do 1,200, you just need 2 plugs, and then you just work them in. And because you don't have to wrap them all throughout the tree and go in and out, and because you got those big chunky cords, super, super simple. It actually disappears. In fact, I've got some lifelike trees this year that have the micro LED lights already on them and put on them. They look stunning. They look amazing. So really, really cool application for these lights. Lots and lots of uses. I'm going to try and hit them all. Let's see what's next on my list. I got lots and lots of things to show you. Let's start working on some garlands. I really got lots of different kind of cool uses for garlands. All right, so I'm going to get some of this stuff kind of out of my way here. Hopefully you can see as I do some of these things. So you can't quite see those boxes. Let's get those out. I'm going to put some of this stuff off to the side. Make sure I got everything here I need before I show you some of these different ones that are lots and lots of fun to work with. Try not to get tangled either. I got lots of different lights here, and I can make a big tangly mess here real fast. All right, so let's do these copper ones. I'm going to show you what those look like in magnolia. I think they look awesome in magnolia. We love to decorate with magnolia around here. So let's see. Being in magnolia country where you can grow these awesome trees, you've got probably some magnolia in your yard or your neighborhood, or maybe your friend has some that you can borrow, some cuttings of, or you can come in and get some lifelike garlands from us. So let's just see if I can show you how this looks. I don't know if this will 100% be able to show up on camera, but let's try and see what it looks like. So I'm just going to take that and wrap it in a little bit, and then I'm just going to kind of take it and put it around some of these leaves. I'm not going to spend a lot of time because I actually want the copper wire to show up. I mean, copper is super popular right now. It's very trendy, very good color to work with in your decor. Like I said, it looks great with pine cones, looks really, really cool and natural. So you can do a lot of different things with it. You know, think about like little trees in your bathroom that you could do. You know, I just love putting lights on everything that I possibly can. So let's see if I can hold that up and you can see that. So you can definitely see the lights. I don't know if you can see the copper, how it plays with the magnolia, but trust me, it looks awesome. So with maybe some pine cones in there, really, really just cool lights. So on a tablescape, you know, I did that in my tablescape webinar where I just took the Garland, I took a battery operated set of lights and I just dropped it into the tablescape. They just disappear. They lighten up from underneath. So if you want to put it in some greenery and then put some greenery over top of it, they brighten it up. They just come right through and they're just so unique and so cool. I don't know if you can quite see, but that copper wire really shines. It looks awesome. Let's see if you can see. So there's that light. So the copper is not showing up on the computer screen super, super well, but it is stunning. I love copper. Absolutely love it. All right, let's go on to, so I just wanted to show you how to use copper to kind of match your decor. Let's go to, let's do the next one I want to show you is I'm going to do it on a flocked garland. So silver and flocked look awesome together. Now you don't have to use this light set because I would probably use this light set on greenery. So maybe I'll show you kind of both if I can. Try not to make a huge mess here. So I've got this great flocked garland. I'm just going to do a portion of it. I'm not going to do the whole thing, just so I can show you a little bit of what I'm talking about. So all I'm going to do with my garland is I'm just going to separate it. So I'm just going to flare it out. Let me show you real quick. I'm just going to take and pull it apart. Now this is not how I would shape a garland, but I'm going to show you kind of what I'm going to do here. I'm actually kind of exposing the interior of this flocked garland. So I'm just kind of parting the sea here. All right, so there we go. So I've taken my garland and I've just taken it and just parted it right down the middle there. Then I'm going to take this really cool light set. So this is another Invisilite. And this is called a cluster. So let me find the box so I can show you. So this is a cluster micro LED light, 480 LEDs on 9.8 feet of cord. So when I always kind of try and think about your length that you need. That's a very, very important tip to give you whenever decorating with lights. Think about how much cord you need. How much length do you need? Don't worry so much about how long the cord is to get to your plug. Worry about how much do you need to wrap. So how much do I need? The reason I bring that up is it's 9.8 feet long. Almost every garland that you're ever going to find is going to be 9 feet long. I don't know why they're 9 feet, but they typically are. Sometimes you'll see 6, but most of the time they're going to be 9 feet. This is 9.8 feet long, which means I can just use it right down the middle, and it's awesome. Look at that light set. That is so cool. So this is our cluster light set. I got tangled on my stuff down here. All right, so this has, I don't know, let's see if I can count real quick. Let's see if I can show you. This has probably about, I'd say about 10, maybe 15 lights every inch. So all of these little arms that come out, so you can see that, how they just kind of pop in and out. So let me show you why I really love this in a garland, because I don't have to wrap it. I know it's about the same length, and so I'm just going to drop it right down the center. I'm going to make sure that maybe I've got my arms kind of facing out a little bit. They kind of come all kind of, you know, lined up together. So I'm just going to kind of do the same thing with my light garland that I do with my original garland, which is I'm just going to kind of part it apart a little bit so I can spread those out. And then I'm just going to work them in. And then all I'm going to do is just take, every so often, I'm just going to take a piece of the garland and just kind of wrap it over itself. Just nice and gentle. I'm not going to, you know, spend a lot of time, again, working these lights around or tying them into anything. I'm just going to just lay them right down through the middle. And then every so often, I don't need to wrap it. I don't need to wrap it around the pine cones. I don't need to do anything. I'm just literally just running it right down through the middle. And hopefully I don't get tangled here. The nice thing about these clusters is sometimes they don't get tangled either because they've got so many lights. I'm not saying they won't because it is that wire, but they seem to kind of not get as tangled as easily. So there we go. I've just worked that down through the middle there. I'm just going to fold over some of this Love these lights. They're so cool. And you can do this in greenery too. So I'm thinking about maybe swapping out my mantle lights for these this year. And look at that. I know it might be kind of flashing on your screen a little bit. It's not flashing. These are just steady on. Do they have functions? Oh, look at that. They do have functions. So let's see if I can get, let's go. Oh, I love that one. So just a nice little soft twinkle. Look at that. So cool. Really easy. And I could do this whole garland in no time because I've got this great light. You can use these inside, outside. As long as you got power, as long as you got a plug, these are awesome, awesome lights. 480 LEDs in a 9-foot garland. You can't beat that. And they're just run right down through the middle. And I would probably spend a little bit of time making sure I can separate my arms. And so these lights have, you might call them even crab lights because they look like little crab legs. And so you would probably spend a little bit more time than I just did on kind of making sure you get all your kind of crab legs separated out there. So you really get that light showing off all over the place. But that is just intense, and that is awesome. And it's not harsh on the eyes either. That's what I love about these little diodes, is they're not harsh. They're not gonna hurt your eyes. They're a nice soft glow. They look really, really rich, really, really awesome. I love those. So look at that, that is really cool. So that's the cluster. So that is the micro LED cluster. It says twinkle, so when usually if you see something on the package that says twinkle, it's gonna have functions. Again, just look at your box. Know the length, like I talked about, know the length. Maybe know kind of the light count you might want, but don't get stuck on the light count so much. Know how much cord you need. Okay, I've got this little tree here, and so I want to put 60 lights on it. Well, my 60 light LED is going to be, let's see, 20 feet long. So can I use 20 feet on this? Well, with the green cord I could just wrap it in there. I wouldn't really care. It's going to disappear. But maybe if you're doing silver, maybe you want to do the 20 count, which is going to be probably about 9 feet long. So think about those things, kind of know your length, kind of get that kind of idea of how much cordage you need, because that goes a long way in helping you decorate with lights. But I just got to show you this one more time. I just think that's so cool. That is just stunning. Awesome, awesome light set. All right, let me show you two more. I think I've got two more. I'm going to have a mess to clean up after this. All right, so let me show you on a green garland what you can do. I got two different light sets here. Get all my flocking out of here. I'm going to turn my green garland white. All right, so let me put this garland here. Make sure you can see that so I can pick it up, get some of this other stuff out of the way. All right, so the first one I want to show you is kind of cool. This is called Big and Bright. So this is going to be kind of that big seed technology. It's going to be that bigger diode, but it's called a bouquet of lights. So it's got all these little clusters of lights. I don't know if you can see that on the package, but I'm going to show you. Don't worry about it. Here we go. This is a really cool one. Now this one is, what do I do with the box? 18.7 feet long, but that's because they're spaced out. So let me show you. So look at that. So now I've got all these little bouquets of light. And so on each little one, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I've got 10 little diodes, but they're that big seed diode. And look, you can just spread them right out. Put that on the background so you can kind of see it. So I've got this little, and I can shape this however I want to. I can put them on a little bit of a curl so they look like a flower. That's kind of the idea, is they look like a little flower. And then I can just take this and put this right in my garland. So I'm going to just start this right here. We'll do a couple of these so you can see kind of the effect that this gets. And then actually what I'm going to try and do here is I'm going to try and put the bouquet in first and just see if that kind of helps me a little bit with that. Yeah, there we go. So just take that and put it in first and get it nice and wrapped in so it's nice and sturdy in there, and then separate your arms. See, I'm learning too. There we go. All right, let's do one more. Just kind of put that in. Make sure I've got them spaced out about how I want them. This one I would probably have to hide a little bit of cord if I'm just going to do it in one garland. Let's see, how many do I have? How many LEDs? I don't know if this one says how many lights are on it. You get 20 bouquets. So you get 20 groups of 10, so that's 200 LEDs. So that's a lot of light. I mean, I could do that definitely over 2 garlands if I'm doing like a banister or in a tree. These would be awesome in a tree. Just little groups of light here and there. All right, that is looking cool. These are a lot of fun. So let me show you that section that I just did with those. So there we go. We've got these little groups of light, and they're just little pockets of little kind of flowerets of light. I mean, so much fun and, you know, a garden look. These would be great on an outdoor kind of topiary. So many applications for these. These are cool. I think even just hanging up by themselves. If you just took these and put them across, you know, a doorway or something, again, where you've got access to power, these are plug-in. So where you've got access to power, you could kind of just let these hang in a garland, and then you just pull them apart, and those little bouquets of light are just so much fun to work with. And you could do lots of different things. I could twist them. I could put them in different, I could straighten them up so they look more like stars, but I just think they're kind of fun just like that. So look at that, a lot of fun. I mean, so much things you could do. So maybe if you've got more of a floral kind of look in your tree, drop these in some silk flowers around it. Man, I mean, just the uses of these. I think they would look stunning on a tree because each one would kind of look like a little flower ornament of light. So really, really fun. So that's kind of a cool one. Let me show you this other one that I absolutely love as well. This one is a cherry cluster. So we know what the cluster light is. It's that, you know, a ton of lights in a small space. We know the waterfall effect. We've talked about those. This one's a cherry cluster. And so cherry lights are going to have something that kind of covers the diode. I've got some regular cherry lights that come in like 3 different sizes. They're really cool, but that's more of an outdoor or more of a larger kind of application. But these are really cool. And again, the reason I love these, they're 9.8 feet long. So they're just that perfect distance that you can work right into a garland. So here they are. I know, they almost look like they're glowing right now, but they're not even on yet. There we go, look at that. Really cool. So let's get some of these unwrapped so you can see them. Now these I have worked with before. They can tangle. So just take your time, be patient. Because all these little, and these are kind of like little tiny, like little rubber balls that they've put on there, little rubber cherries that they've covered up the diode with. And what it does is just kind of makes the light reflect a little bit more. And so it really stands out. They're really cool. But they can grip onto each other. Trust me. So I'm going to just be gentle and make sure if I can see where they're tangled. That one just got wrapped around that. Let me just get some to work with here. And then again, because it's that kind of that cluster, all I got to do is just work this right down the middle of my garland here. These look awesome on greenery. I mean, just look really, really amazing. So again, I'm just going to kind of twist. I've already parted my garland, so I'm just going to go through and put this here, and then I'm just going to twist. So basically, I'm just taking a couple arms and just twisting them over so they lock the lights in place. Now these come on a silver wire, but again, I think that's cool. I think it's cool to show off the wire and let that wire be part. Maybe I drop some silver ornaments, maybe some tinsel garland or something like that in there. And then these have all these little arms, so I'm just going to kind of pull apart some of these arms so we don't have all the lights together. Again, I'm not going to spend a bunch of time on this, just because I want to make sure we touch on everything that you can do with these really cool lights. Love these lights. All right, so let's show you that section that I just did. Look at that. That is so cool. I mean, you got to see this one in person. It just has kind of almost like a modern kind of feel to it. They look really, really special. So try not to, maybe I'll take this out real quick if I can so we can focus on just that one. Get these bouquets out of here. There we go. All right, now let's look at it. Isn't that cool? So I just love that light. It's just very simple, elegant, modern. I mean, just really, really cool that what you can do with these lights. And because it's only 9.8 feet long, I can just drop it in a garland. I know I'm done. I don't have to think about everything. It's a really, really neat light set. Let's see if I've touched on everything. So we've done them in lanterns. So we've done that cluster, that waterfall. I keep saying cluster. Waterfall in the lantern, which is great. Love that light set. It looks amazing. Whoop. In a plant, so we can do them in plants with all those different arms to work with. We've got the big ones that are, you know, 640 LEDs on 32 strands. I mean, think about the possibilities that you could do with that. We've got those all over the store. You got to come in and check those out. Oh, the last ones that I didn't talk about, and I'm not going to pull these out. I'm just going to show you the package. But these I thought were kind of cool too. So these are kind of the same thing as the waterfall, but they've got a little tree ring on them, and they measured them to fit a normal sized tree. So this is a 7.9 foot, which gives you, you know, the capability of doing a 7.5 foot tree with a little bit to play with. But let's see if you can see those packages. But up in the little right hand corner, it shows you it comes with a little ring, and you just slip it right over the top of your tree. So kind of like I did with this guy. You know, you just take this little ring, you drop it over the top of the tree, and then you can just have all these strands of lights that worked out. And so it comes in warm white, and it also comes in multi. And I think that multi one would be a lot of fun to work with. So maybe you want a little bit of multi in your warm white tree. You got it now. You can do it super, super simple. So we've got both of those options. And they have 832 LEDs. 832 LEDs, that is awesome. I mean, my tree doesn't even have 800 lights on it. So now I can add 800 lights. Super, super easy. Drop these all the way through there. You can kind of work them through. You can do these on an outdoor tree too, like a conifer, a spruce, a little pyramidal tree. I'm sure you could use it on any other tree if you wanted to. You could work it back the other way. See, you've got a Japanese maple, and the arms are about 8 feet long, a dogwood, a cherry tree, something that you want to use outside. These are indoor, outdoor. They are awesome. They are really, really cool. There was one other one that, I've got another one that I completely forgot this one. You'll love this. This is really cool too. There's so many choices with these things. And I'm the buyer. I'm the one that buys all these, and so I get super excited when I do this because I bought all of these for a reason in my head. I said I can use this for that. So let me quickly show you. I've got the 20 count, the 60 count in the battery pack. 20 counts are for indoor, 60 count are for indoor or outdoor. I've got the 100 count, just the plug-in, which you can use. But then I also said, what if you want a bigger application and you want to do something different? This is a 240 count, 39.4 feet long. So again, knowing the kind of the distance of your length really, really helps. Goes a long way. Let me get this kind of untangled. So this is just a warm white LED on a green cord. So nothing super, super special other than it's 240 feet long, or 240 LEDs. So you get more LEDs. Now these are not connectable. So maybe if I were doing like a tree, I'd go back to those big seed connectable ones. But maybe if you're doing a garland and you really want to wrap it in, or you got a big wreath or something that you got access to power, then these are kind of cool. So again, that really nice warm glow, super, super, basic micro LED, but it's also got the functions. So it's got those twinkle functions. I love that one. It's just that nice little twinkle. I don't know if you can quite see it on the camera there, but it's got 8 different functions. So you can go through those. See how it's just going back and forth? It's almost like a chasing light. So those have functions. I also have those on a silver cord that have functions. So 240 LEDs, almost 40 feet long, with the capabilities of having functions indoor, outdoor. So those are really cool. All right, let's put those off to the side. I'm going to have a tangled mess when I'm done. There was one other one that I remember that I wanted to show. I'm not quite sure what it was now. Oh, yeah. Here we go. All right. So this is cool. I'm not going to actually use this one. I know I don't want to take, I'm trying to keep all of these under an hour, and I can keep on going if you wanted me to. But this one's kind of cool. So this is different. So this one is, I don't want to do that. All right. So this one is 567 LEDs. I don't know why they're always those random numbers. It's kind of weird. 567 LEDs on one cord, 29.5 feet long, so almost 30 feet long. And why are these so cool? Well, how do you get 567 LED lights on one cord? Now I'm not going to be able to get these apart. You're not going to be able to tell the difference. There we go. So this is what we call a compact light. Look at that. There is a light, 2 lights every inch, 3 lights every inch, sorry. So you just look at that. I mean, it's just like a perfect line. So you could use these to like line a bar. Maybe you've got a wire, something like a wire frame that you want to do. I'm going to show you that in just a second. But these are super, super cool. Now, they don't twinkle. They don't do anything. Over 19 LEDs per foot. So you take a foot and you've got over 19 LEDs. and it's just like perfect. So I think of these kind of like to outline a bar or maybe a scene or a picture frame or something like that. These are really cool. All right, but let me show you this really neat star that I've got. So I first saw them on this star. It's a metal frame star. I'm going to show it to you. But this is what it comes in this nice little package. And let's see, where did I put it? Ah, here it is. This looks really stunning. So just a little metal star. It's just a white metal star. But it's got these compact lights on it. So I wanted to show you so you can think about all the different ways you can use that. Look at that. That is just stunning. So it is kind of wrapped on it. So it almost looks like a solid beam of light all the way around. Look at that. That is absolutely so cool. I mean, I could use that for so many different things. It's kind of like a shooting star, so we can kind of do that. Shooting star, look. You can put these in a tree. You could hang these. I believe these are inside, outside. Yep, indoor, outdoor. So those are completely, you can use these hanging them outside in a tree. They are so cool. I mean, they really brighten up your holiday season. You can hang it. You can make it just a piece of wall decor. So I could just put that on the wall, and it'd be really cool. You know, just look at that. Look at that on that backdrop. That looks awesome. So these are really cool, and that's that compact light. So it's called, I don't know that this one, I think it just says micro LED, so it was a little confusing to me, but it's a dense, that's what they call them, dense light, because it's got all these lights every, maybe half an inch, every third of an inch, you got a light. So it's just a ton of lights on a kind of short cord. I mean, 30 inches. So let's see what this would look like in here. I got that rosemary tree, great little gift plant, but maybe I've got one in my house. And so let's just see what these kind of look like on there. Oh yeah, those look cool. So you can do this on a tree. You can do this on your indoor tree. You just have this kind of, again, that ribbon of light going through it. Look at that. That is cool. That is really neat. So think about this like on a topiary, on a spruce outside. So many different uses for all of these lights. I just love them. I mean, my mind just goes crazy when I start to think about all the different things that you can do with these. I mean, the possibilities are endless. They disappear. That's why we call them Invisalights. Or you can show off that wire. Use them in lanterns. Use them on small trees, wreaths, garlands, mantles. Think about all the different applications. Tablescapes, on your cut tree. Add lights to your pre-lit tree. You know, you just got so many functions of them. I love that big seed one, that connectable one. I can connect up to 600, so I can put 6 strands together on one plug. So I could add a lot of light to my holiday season. Look at your length that you need. If you see any, like this cluster or this cherry light that are 9.8 feet long, 480 LEDs. I love that. And I put that in that flocked garland, but you could put it in just a green garland and let the wire show off. Copper, silver, green, the multicolored. I know y'all are all probably like, shut up, but this is just so cool. I just love these lights. They just have so many uses. They're just so easy to use. I could go on and on and on day after day about using these. I mean, again, I could take like a glass vase and put some bulbs in it. You know, take a glass vase, put an amaryllis bulb in it, put some lights in there. You could take your orchid, maybe you've got an orchid or you want to get an orchid, and wrap some of these lights on it. There's so many uses. Wine bottles. The wine bottle in your poinsettia. I go on and on. I'm going to stop though, because I don't want to take up too much of everybody's day. I want you to come in and check us out though. Here at McDonald Garden Center, we've got these Invisalights, these micro LED lights. I've got so many different choices. And so if you've got questions, definitely ask. Know what your application is. When you come in and you see the shelf, you might say, kind of like I said to myself, man, there's a lot of choices here. So let us know what it is that you're doing. Maybe it's an indoor plant. Maybe it's a Norfolk Island pine. Maybe it's your tree. Whatever application that you think these lights might work, let us know what it is, and we'll help you find the right set for you. There's so many cool uses of these. Battery, plug-in, thousands of lights, hundreds of lights, 20 lights, 15 lights, so many uses. All right, so I hope everybody enjoyed this. Brighten up your holidays with our Invisalights here at McDonald Garden Center. Have a great day. I hope this inspired you to start decorating. It's time. It's coming. Christmas will be here soon. So start thinking about all the things that you want to brighten up your holidays with. Light them up with Invisalights, micro LED lights. Keep checking our webinar series coming up. We've got lots in store all the way through the holiday season. We're going to get our cut trees in, our poinsettias. We're going to talk about your blooming indoor plants, all of these different types of things that we'll be decorating our holiday season with, and brightening up your day with lights is a great way to start. So hope you all enjoyed this. Have a great day. Have a merry day, a bright day, and enjoy your weekend. And I'll be back next Wednesday, and we'll start decorating again. So hope you all enjoy this. Have a great day. If you have any questions, I'm going to come over and answer them now. If not, you're taking off. Have a great day. Enjoy it. Enjoy the weekend. We hope to see you here. Have a great one. All right. So I don't know if we've got any questions, but I'll say hi to everybody. So let's see. Now that I can read, we've got, all right, Lisa from Richmond. Hello. Or maybe, sorry, your last name is Richmond. And then Deborah from Richmond. And then Sandy said hi. Hello. I'm glad you enjoyed the presentations. Larissa from North Carolina. Great to have you. Hedda. Hello. Susan from Stanton. Larissa says, love watching your webinars. Thanks for doing them. Not a problem. I enjoy doing them. They're so much fun. We've got Danielle from Charlottesville. Hello. Tony. Hi. How you doing? Let's see. Katie said, my Christmas cactus has not bloomed in the past 2 years. I am wondering what I need to do to help it bloom. Thank you. Katie, I do believe there is something that you do need to do. I can't remember off the top of my head if it has to deal with the lighting outside or going through a cool period. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check with our houseplant expert. That is one that always kind of stumps me, as the Christmas cactus one. I do believe it has to go through kind of like a cooling period. So I think what they're going to tell you to do is put it in a cooler room with the cooler temperatures that we're having. It should help. And then when it warms back up, I think it helps it bloom. It might be that it needs to be replanted. So if it's super, super root bound, that might help. It might need a little boost of plant food. Have you fed it in a while? So Katie, think about those couple things. Does it need to be repotted? Do we have adequate food? Do we need to feed it with the plant food? Then I would just use an all-purpose liquid food. We have some succulent and cactus food that would probably work great for it. But think about those kinds of things. Lighting might be it. Maybe, is it not getting enough light? Maybe it needs a little bit of brighter light situation. So, but I will talk to my houseplant expert. Our houseplant buyer is amazing. She is awesome. And so we'll get that answer to you, because I think it has something to do with temperature or light, the amount of light that it gets through the day. I know poinsettias are kind of the same way, but I think Christmas cactus has that kind of that kind of thing that it needs to kind of go through in order to get those blooms going. So we'll get back to you on that with an exact answer if that's the case. If not, could be the light or lack of plant food or needing to be repotted. Lori from the Outer Banks, hello. And Alda from Figsboro, awesome. Yeah, see, Deborah said the webinar featuring indoor plants covers that question. And that's, I'm so bad, well, I'm not bad, but I do sometimes, have to kind of cram a bunch of knowledge in before I do these webinars to make sure I'm kind of fresh. And then when I get done, sometimes some of those things escape me. And those specific little details, I always tell people I know a little bit about a lot of plants. And so that is a very specific detail. And I think I answered it, Deborah, so thank you. I just can't quite remember 100% what the answer is. Or maybe I asked Sarah again for that answer and she got back to you. All right, so the name of the lights, yes, Invisalights. That's what we call them. Again, you might see them, when you're looking at different places, you're going to see that kind of term micro LED a lot. You might see fairy lights, but most of mine are listed as Invisalights or micro LED lights. Thanks, Gene. Hello, Gene. How you doing? I don't know if you're still watching, but thank you. You still got it. Thank you. So the battery issue, I think, is what you're talking about. Renee, I think you're saying, especially if they are on a timer. I use mine on a fireplace. Love the cluster. Yep. So again, I always tell people, if you can plug it in, plug it in. You don't have to worry about the battery issue. If you use it on a wreath and you don't have power and you want to use battery operated, do it. But yes, the batteries are going to run out eventually. I would say typically I get somewhere between 20 to 30 days on the timer, which is not bad. It's not bad if you're having a lot of trouble with it, you might want to check out those DuraWise. Those DuraWise will last up to 60 days on one set of batteries. A little bit different application. I'm going to talk about that when I talk about lighting up the holidays or lighting up your outdoor spaces, because it's a little bit more light, so it's got a longer strand. So it's really designed to be used maybe in an outdoor application, like I've got my light pole or my mailbox that I want to put lights on, and I need more than maybe 20 or 60 Invisalights. So I kind of separate those two. But you might think about that if you don't have power and you need battery operated, you might try, if you're just tired of replacing the lights, then you might want to consider the DuraWise, which we also carry, and I'll be talking about in the future. So Tony said, Ashley, I want the Garland light. I had a feeling somebody might want that. And then Eleanor said, I love the Phlox Garland. How much is that one? Let me check for you. I think there's a tag on it. I might have taken the tag off. Yeah, I took the tag off. Sorry. So Eleanor, I'll get back to you. I believe it's going to be somewhere in the $49 to $69.99 price range. That's typically where they are. I do have some that already have lights, so I didn't mention that. A lot of our wreaths and garlands also have some that do have lights, but I have a lot of wreaths that I love, like that incense cedar one that I put the lights on, that you typically aren't going to find those pre-lit. So you might have a very special wreath or garland that you just absolutely love and you want to add lights, and this is a great opportunity to do that. Or no pre-lit wreath or garland is going to have 480 lights like that cluster. So there you go. So we got you your answer on the Christmas cactus. So you can treat it similar to the way you get an orchid to rebloom. Take it outside in the spring into a shady area, sheltered from the rain. Leave it outside all season until the beginning of November. Cool nights and warm days should set buds. You can also do this in a garage or a very cool room. If you start doing this now indoors, it may set blooms for next year. Good luck. So I knew it had something to do with that light and coolness. I just can't always, I feel like sometimes I can't remember everything. I'm always cramming some information in and some pops out. All right, so Deborah said, Mike, which lights would you recommend for me to restring my wire reindeer angels that are for the outdoor decor? Great question. So Deborah, there's a lot of different options. So it's a wire reindeer and angels. So probably going to be similar to like this wire star behind me. And if your lights are kind of old or they're just not working, cut them off. And then you would probably consider, I would probably consider these Invisalights, because you probably don't have to worry about getting them attached to that wire as well. So let's say you've got like a deer foot, you know, and then the body. You could just wrap it and then go around the head and around the antlers. And because the wire, because these are all built out of wire, because they all have that kind of flexibility and the ability to bend, you can attach them right on and they're super, super easy. But think about the distance that you're gonna need. That's gonna be the one tricky one. So maybe like these connectable big seed ones, these are really cool. So the connectable big seed micro light, those are the ones that we can put an additional set on. So it's, let's see, 33 feet long. So if that's not gonna be quite enough, I mean, it's 100 LEDs, so that's good. I guess what I always tell people when using lights, especially when they're trying to do a tree, but even this, some of those lights are made specifically for those things. So like our pre-lit trees have what we call tree lights. Nobody sells them because it's actually more like an 8 to 10 inch spacing in between each bulb. And the reason they do that is so that they can have cord to work with, because every time you wrap it around a branch, you lose some of it. So if they put them, 3 or 4 inch spacing, like a typical light, these are about maybe 2 or 3 inches spacing on most of the micro LED lights. So if you did wrap those, you get a lot of light very, very close to itself. They're starting to do that with some of our pre-lit trees. So think about those kinds of things. How much length do you think you need? If you're taking your lights off of those reindeer angels, then if you can unwrap them without having to cut them off, then maybe you take and measure how long that string is. And then that will help us kind of know how much we need. But I would think if it's a white metal angel or reindeer, the silver would be probably what I would use. I don't know that I would use green. I've got some great grapevine reindeer. I'm going to put some copper lights on those because I think they'd be cool, but anything will work. It's whatever you personally like. I mean, let's be honest, they really are only going to show up at night when they're on. So then at that point, who cares what the the color is outside if you're using those on your outdoor decor items. But I think something like this, just because it gives you the versatility of being able to say, I need another set. So you can add another set to it. All right, so Sandy said, love all these ideas, so many to choose from. I know, there's so many. Tony said, love the hanging star on the back porch. Prices. So prices vary. What I will say is our Invisalights are very affordable, and they always are on a pretty good deal. Let's say anywhere between 30 to 40% off, maybe sometimes 50. So well, I think we'll cut this off, but I will say, when we put this live, but I will say right now our Invisalights are 40% off until next Tuesday. So you're always going to get a pretty good deal. But let's just say typically they're going to be anywhere between $9.99 and $49.99. And the reason I say that is, so like that 100 light set is 100 lights connectable, $39.99, but 40% off. So that's going to be like, what, $24, $23? So that's a really, really good deal. Let's go to some of the biggest ones. So here's the biggest one. It's that tree light. So I can show that to you. You see that little, over here? 7.9 feet, 832 lights. So that's a lot of lights. That's probably one of the most lights. And this is $49.99. So, I mean, really not super expensive for almost 1,000 LEDs. Let's see, some of the other really popular ones are that, I was throwing boxes everywhere. $39.99 for the 240 LEDs. What was that cluster? That compact, $39. So, I mean, usually somewhere between $29.99 and $39.99 for the longer ones. The little 60 count battery operated are $19.99, but 40% off, so they're gonna be like 12 bucks. Then the 20 count are $9.99. The bottle stopper, I think, is $9.99. What else? There's a lot of them. But I would say, generally speaking, $9.99 to $49.99. And the more lights or the more functions or the different things that it can do, then it would be in that higher price range. And you're going to find a lot of them are going to be in that $29 to $49 price range because of the length, and maybe they twinkle or have different functions. Tony, thanks for watching. Karen, love your webinars and watch all of them. Thank you so much. I'm so glad. I'm glad you're enjoying them. Karen said, watching from our farm in Middleburg, Virginia, but we come to your nursery when we're staying home in our in Cape Charles. Awesome. Definitely stop by. We're decorated to the nine for the holidays. And then Susan said, thank you so much. I really enjoy you sharing your knowledge and creative ideas. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed them. I hope you all have a great day. Come and check these guys out. You don't have to do it all right now. We're going to be carrying these for years and years to come. This is something that continues to grow. I mean, every year I'm finding new little pieces and I'm saying, oh, that's a cool one. And that's, that one's not doing as well. Let's get that one out of here. So we're always kind of having new ideas and just kind of keep those creative juices going. So hope you enjoyed this. Have a great day, everybody. And I'll see you next week. Bye.